Good afternoon, everyone. We begin 13 News at noon with breaking news. A missing 14-year-old boy and the son of former Colts player Daniel Muir has been found safe this morning by Indiana State Police in Logansport. Bryson's parents, Kristen and Daniel Muir, now both arrested. Kristen faces a preliminary charge of obstruction of justice. Daniel faces preliminary charges of obstruction of justice and domestic battery. Right now, our Rich Nye is in Logansport.
The blowback from a false allegation probably ain't going to be too good, especially when you have the backing of the ministry behind you. Because, see, right now, all this seems to be at the forefront, and everybody seems to be pointing fingers and laughing and jeering and all those stuff. But you better believe the Straightway is not going to be taking any of this lying down. We coming. You better believe we coming.
We'll see what he means by that. Dowell said the state police made a mountain out of a molehill within.
Thanks for joining us here first at 4. I'm Nick McGill.
And I'm Max Lewis in for Aaliyah today. Fox 59 has team coverage on this story, from the charges that couple faces to our exclusive footage of this morning's raid.
All right, what's up with y'all? So look, man, I'm back again with another video. And listen, this situation right here is crazy. It's so much speculation going on, but at the same time, it's some facts out there as well. We're finna get into all of that. But I do got to start it off the right way with some positivity. I am doing this video, I think it's the 4th of July right now here, and it's early in the morning, but I'm going to try to have it out today. So happy 4th of July, or if you don't see this in time or whenever you see this, you know, I'm sending that to you, you know what I'm saying? And I also want to tell you that I hope that everything is going the way that you want it to go in your life, and I'm wishing y'all nothing but the best in every aspect of your life. And I'm sending y'all nothing but peace, blessings, and prosperous energy your way. And if you need some motivation right now, I'm sending you that. Hell, if you need some healing energy, I'm sending you that. Just whatever you need right now, I'm trying to send it your way, you know. And when I say this, I'm only talking to my supporters and to those who reciprocate the same energy back to me, and to those who say the same thing back to me in return. Other than that, let's get into this situation, because we got a lot to talk about and a lot to listen to. So basically, long story short, it's a situation where a crazy ass fucker, allegedly, everything is allegedly from beginning to the end when it comes to this story, but basically, long story short, it's a guy by the name of Daniel Muir. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And he's a 40-year-old dude. I can't call him a man right now until we get, you know, bona fide facts on what took place. For sure, I don't know too much about dude, but, you know, he did play in the NFL. And basically, long story short, he has a 14-year-old son by the name of Bryson. Now, I don't know why the hell the daddy did this, but it's so many different stories being out there. But one of the stories that I did hear was basically saying that the son allegedly did something with another child that was inappropriate, and the daddy reacted like this and gave him a black eye. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, and I hate to even have to say that, but I need some type of context. And they said that he snapped. There's so many different things that they did say, but that's one of the most prominent things that's being said right now, right? So basically, long story short, they let Bryson go to his grandmother's house. Now, come on now. You knew, you had to know not to do that. Now, when the son went to the grandmother's house, what you think Granny did? Granny turned against you for them grandkids, and that's exactly what she did. She called the police, took a picture, she got evidence and everything, and I'm pretty sure that Bryson told her what's going on and what took place, or whatever the hell, you know, just made them snap. But I feel like that there is no excuse to do this to your kids. Now, if he did something like that, shit, I don't even want to say nothing about that, but you know, I do feel like that children do need discipline, and they need their ass whooping sometimes. True enough. Now, I'm not saying beat your kids or nothing like that, but they do need discipline, you know, because, I mean, the way that the world is right now, if they're not disciplined, somebody else going to discipline them or put them in the ground, and you don't want neither one of those. So, yeah, make sure that you're doing what you need to do ahead of time. But, you know, I know somebody going to get, oh, Lord, here goes one of y'all super macho, masculine, alpha male, red pill. You know what I'm saying? If it'll come in here and say, my daddy used to whoop me and this and this and that. That's understandable and cool and all, but I don't feel like that's the right way to parent in most cases, you know what I'm saying? Now, chastising them is one thing, but actually whooping them and beating them and hitting them in the eye and all of that, oh, nah, bro. Chastising your son and certain things like that, but to go to this extent ain't what's up at all. Now, the mother was also involved in this situation. Her name is Kristen. She's 38 years old, and they've been on the run. They've been hiding out or whatever the case may be, and what I think took place was that the grandmother did all of this stuff that she did, and they all went into hiding altogether just to basically avoid everything. But, you know, once a statement or something is made to the police, they got to follow through. So they did a raid and actually found all of them at a property, but it wasn't their property. Now, I left out a lot of details because I got a video for us to watch. So let's get into the video. I want to know your thoughts and opinions on everything. And also hit the like button, man. I'm dropping consistent content, and that's all I ask y'all to do. Oh, yeah, when I said what I said a while ago about, you know, grandmothers turning on people, that shit real. And if you know what I'm talking about, let me know. Will your grandma, would your mama or somebody turn their back on you right now for your child? That's just how it is. Let's get into the video. I don't see what I had to say. I broke everything down to y'all till it was minute. And let's get into it and just see what they got to say.
Good afternoon, everyone. We begin 13 News at noon with breaking news. A missing 14-year-old boy and the son of former Colts player Daniel Muir has been found safe this morning by Indiana State Police in Logansport. Bryson's parents, Kristen and Daniel Muir, now both arrested. Kristen faces a preliminary charge of obstruction of justice. Daniel faces preliminary charges of obstruction of justice and domestic battery. Right now, our Rich Nye is in Logansport outside of Cass County Jail following the latest developments. And Rich, what have you learned so far?
Karen, Daniel and Kristen Muir are currently in the Cass County Jail awaiting a hearing. That happens at 1 o'clock here in the Cass County Government Building behind me. And at that hearing, they'll find out if perhaps they will get a bond so that they could post bond and be released today before the July 4th holiday. Now, early this morning, the Indiana State Police SWAT team, they executed a search warrant on this property about 6 a.m. This is in Logansport. This is where the Muir family lives. The property is owned by Servant Leaders Foundation. The religious group that lives and meets here is called Straightway Indiana Goshen. Daniel Muir is the pastor and the leader of that group. Bryson's grandmother reported alleged abuse of the 14-year-old boy back on June 16th while he was visiting her home in the Cleveland, Ohio area. She provided a photo to police of Bryson with a black eye and a swollen face. And she said Bryson told her that his dad caused the injuries as a punishment he deserved. She believed the happened on the Logansport property, and police have been trying to locate the boy for 18 days. It appears Bryson was likely here on this property the whole time, but the parents were not cooperating with the investigation and allegedly backed out of a meeting with the state police last Friday to bring Bryson to investigators to talk about the investigation.
Now, for the dad to say that he actually deserved what happened to him, I don't know what the hell he did. But if he did something that was very, very inappropriate with another child, yeah, I know what I'm talking about when I say that. He needed an ass whooping, but I don't think you should just be beating on your kids, man. You know, they kids. And at the same time, I'm torn in between the two, but I definitely don't think you should be giving nobody no black eye. I got to make sure that that's clear. I'm just saying that, you know, sometimes I can understand some people get so frustrated and irate to the point where they can do something like this. If you're out here doing stuff like that, if that's the truth, I'm making sure that I'm saying this the correct way. Don't get the wrong misconception of me. Even though I really don't give a damn what nobody think about me, I just want people that genuinely rock with me to understand where I'm coming from. And I'm pretty sure majority of y'all do. But yeah, I understand why they didn't want to talk. It's because something was going to happen, and they knew that. They were going to jail immediately. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just had to say what I had to say right there. But let's get into the video.
That led police to getting that search warrant this morning and going onto the property. And again, Bryson was found. He is safe and well. And police say that the parents were taken into custody without incident.
Just nothing but positive vibes. Here we are, you know, trying to find this child, make sure that he's alive and well. And ultimately, after 3 weeks of, you know, reaching out, yeah, he was found, located. So definitely a win in our books.
Daniel Muir was arrested for domestic battery and obstruction of justice. His wife, Kristen, was arrested for obstruction of justice. Daniel played for the Indianapolis Colts for 4 seasons, ending in 2011. And again, Daniel and Kristen Muir have a bond hearing. That's today at 1 o'clock here at the Cass County Government Building. I'll be at that hearing and have the very latest for you on WTHR tonight. And Bryson Muir is currently in the custody of the Indiana Department of Child Services here in Cass County.
As state police raid the Logansport compound where the parents of Bryson Muir live, and that includes Daniel Muir, a former Indianapolis Colts player.
Of course, we've been following this story for some time after police say Bryson went missing back on June 16th. Fox 59's Eric Graves has been part of this coverage since the early onset, and Eric, it does sound like there is some good news here. Zach and Angela, we've been told that Bryson Muir has been found. That's 14-year-old boy missing since June 16th when his grandmother first called police in the Cleveland area. We are here in Cass County, just outside Logansport. I want to give you a closer look at the investigation going on right now. We're on Sadler Hill Drive. This is just on the other side of US 24, west out of Logansport, where the Muir property is. We believe this to be a very large property. As you can see, this is 3 state police cars, 3 state police officers with large weapons. There's another state police officer off to my right over here that appears to be operating a drone, taking a look out over this property. We believe it to be a couple dozen acres back here from what we have been able to tell. We brought you here for the first time last Wednesday, a week ago, and gave you a view from the US 24, a gate there, a locked gate, big lock on it, several no trespassing signs, along with several homes on the property. This was when we had just been told of Bryson Muir's disappearance. 14-year-old here in Logansport, son of Daniel Muir, former Colts player, Kristen Muir, his mom. He was last seen by his grandma on June 16th. He was and battered at the time, a black eye, a split lip, a swollen face. I talked to his grandma a few days ago. She told me he doesn't know how many times that boy had to have been hit for his face to look like that, and Bryson admitted that it was his father, Daniel Muir, who had hit him, and that has been the subject of this ISP work for the past week now as they had
Now look, for him to actually tell it, to verify it, they in trouble regardless. You know what I'm saying? And there's no way around that either. And I also want to say that with the grandmother actually doing this, I feel like that she knew that he could potentially lose his life over time or something like that, to actually let it be known, like, hey, this is happening. And, you know, she telling everything. And that's what's up. I commend her on that, because, I mean, some things you just don't do. Now, if it was something else besides what he was saying, then it's really crazy. And I'm saying that because, you know, if you catch your child doing something very inappropriate with another child, you know, you might trip out too, because what you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times when people do certain things, they are learning that from someone. It's a learned behavior, you know, not all the time, but sometimes for sure. But I do feel like that, you know, that the little boy really was, you know, blessed to get away from that situation, because that damn daddy, he's an ex-NFL football player. He could have knocked Cuz into a coma, could have killed him, anything. You know what I'm saying? For real. I ain't bullshitting playing with y'all, bro. Y'all already know I ain't, but I just got to say that. Real talk. He could have actually lost his life by that punch, you know? Or punches. And it looked like the other eye over there swole too. That's just my personal opinion. Hey, let's get back into it.
Trying to get a hold of these parents. It's been an unusual case. When you usually have a missing child, the parents are the biggest advocate trying to find their child. This time, the parents not helping. They had believed they had a meetup planned for Friday, as we do see ISP begin to get in their cars out here. Now, I was able to take a look around the bend as they have us back here at a safe distance. There was an armored SWAT vehicle inside. We believe there to be dozens of officers combing this property right now as they have got into custody the Muir parents, Daniel and Kristen, and they do have 14-year-old Bryson in custody. As we're told, I'm going to move out of the road here. So we've got a state police vehicle coming past us. It's a Logansport police vehicle, actually. Angela and Zach, I'm going to throw it back to you. We're going to try and get more information. We're going to try and talk to state police on camera today to talk about this very large investigation going on behind us right now here in Cass County, just outside Logansport.
Yeah, and I want to talk to you a little bit too, because we've been getting so many, you know, first of all, people that live in Logansport. We started getting tips early this morning saying, hey, we're seeing like a caravan. What is happening? Different neighbors saying, hey, I live where you are, really close. Have you actually, I know you just got there, I'm guessing you haven't gotten to see anyone yet. Has anybody come out even just asking you what's happening?
You know, I've made a few calls this morning as we've gotten some of those reports from neighbors saying, hey, we're seeing, some people reported seeing as many 60 police cars gathering just a mile from this. We're prepared to do this. I can tell you that the other entrance to this compound off US 24, they had it blocked just off the highway that's probably just a few hundred yards behind us. So we came around here, the back entrance, to give a little bit better of a picture of what they're doing. I know this isn't much, but we're going to try and get you some more visuals. And there are houses around us. This is a more rural part of Logansport, but there certainly are some homes here. So we're going to try and talk to as many neighbors as we can. What we do know is the folks who live here, the Muirs, and we believe more people are well known in this community.
And Eric, just from what you can see from your vantage point, we can see the cars behind you. Have you seen anyone yet leaving the property or anyone being taken out yet, or so far has it all been contained back behind those trees?
It appears to have been contained. We got here just about 7 o'clock this morning, so just a few minutes. We've been on scene. I talked to the state police officers behind me. I asked them, and I said, hey, is everything going well so far? And they said yes. Obviously, they're not going to tell me much at this point as they wait for public information officers to do that sort of thing. So we're hoping to hear from one of them soon, but that is certainly a good sign. We have not seen anyone leave to this point, though, Zach.
Yeah, and that other question too is, as you were getting, I know Eric and so were we, why can't police go in there and raid it? People think that you can just get a search warrant super easy. They think, well, if you think there's something going on, you should be able to raid it. And then finally, we know obviously that at some point here within the last couple of days, they've been able to obtain a search warrant. I don't think that you might not have any insight on that, Eric, but maybe that, I know you've talked to people that are asking you, why hasn't more been done since the silver alert was issued?
Well, that's a question we've been asking police since this kind of started, is there going to be a plan to eventually go into this property, because you have these two parents that have not been cooperating with their missing son, who the last time he was seen had severe injuries, and there was a fear, of course, that he could have even worse injuries, or even worse could have happened to 14-year-old Bryson Muir. So that has been a question we've been asking, and that's something that state police told me as late as Monday that they have been exploring. So this is something that's been on the horizon. It appears something that has happened today, obviously. Those processes, like you said, Angela, are complicated, and hopefully we're going to find out more as to what has happened to Lee.
Now, I want to know more of the details, because it seems like there's a lot being left out, but I can understand that because it is an investigation going on. But, they're not actually hitting them with certain charges. They're hitting them with, like basic charges, basically just to get them arrested. They need more details, more facts to go ahead and just pin them with certain things. But I do feel like that they should go ahead and do what they need to do, because the son already admitted to it. There's no way he should be having no type of nothing. And you know what I'm saying? But they did deny his bond. He can't get out of jail. And another reason why they do have these guns and stuff like that, was that they're saying he's a cult leader, and some slight threats were made by someone else, associated with him allegedly. And I think that's why they're taking it so seriously. But I do, have that video in here as well where the guy was speaking on what he was speaking on. Let's get back into it.
After this search warrant, what had to have happened for state police to get that piece of paper from a judge to be able to go onto this property this morning?
Eric Graves live for us in Logansport right now. Eric, great hustle out there, great work out there, getting there quickly, and we'll keep checking in with you this morning.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we found Bryson, and that's who we were wanting to find.
And Fox 59 continues our team coverage of breaking news this afternoon. A young boy considered missing for more than 2 weeks is now safe, and his parents, including a former Colts player, are in jail. Daniel and Kristen Muir walked out of the courtroom after a judge denied them bond during their initial hearing. Thanks for joining us here first at 4. I'm Nick McGill.
And I'm Max Lewis in for Aaliyah today. Fox 59 has team coverage on this story, from the charges that couple faces to our exclusive footage of this morning's raid, and to a look at the group behind that compound.
Yeah, we were going to begin in court here, though. Fox 59's Michael Vanscoy joins us now from the Cass County Courthouse after sitting in on that hearing. Michael, what can you tell us now?
What's up, my boy?
Well, Nick and Max, we heard that Cass County Judge Stephen Kitts denied bond for former Indianapolis Colt Daniel Muir and his wife Kristen Muir. Now, the two of them facing multiple charges. The judge cited reasons for denying those charges as the pair being a potential flight risk. Now, this came as a surprise to Muir. You could see that he was visibly upset by this decision. You could audibly hear making remarks to his attorney.
See, those are some of the things that's going to land his ass in jail. He can't control himself. He's a live wire, allegedly. If you're visibly upset, you're making statements after you're being denied certain things, then yes, you're probably going to get denied for good, and then they're going to actually believe some of the things that they've been hearing. You know, you got to always have your poker face on, even if you're not really just mad and upset and ready to do nothing about nothing or anything like that. You got to make sure that you have your poker face on. You in here tripping, acting a goddamn fool, mad. You know what I'm saying? Granny was right about his ass. Let's get back into it, though.
About this decision. Now, Muir and his wife, Kristen, are both charged with obstruction of justice. Daniel is also charged with domestic battery in this case. Now, defense attorneys say Kristen is a nursing mother and asked the judge for a possibility of a GPS monitoring system from the court. Judge Stephen Kitts says this decision to deny bond has been based on the couple's failure to comply with anything over the past 2 weeks. Daniel Muir's defense attorney did briefly speak to us on camera, telling us he's shocked by the judge's decision to deny bond.
Their family, they've been improperly targeted, and they're not guilty of any abuse or illegal activity. They're entitled to their day in court and due process.
Nah, what the hell was the son talking about then? If that's the case, what the hell was he saying? What was he talking about? You feel me? Stop all that bullshit and sugarcoating. But you know, he's his lawyer and stuff like that, so it is what it is. I do keep on saying this, and I'm going to forever say this, that I do feel like some cases these lawyers shouldn't be taking, man. Get your ass on, especially whooping on your, man, come on, cuz. Look what you're doing to your kid, man. You is tripping. I don't know the context around it. That does play a part in it, but it's still no justification for it, you know? These people right here, look how he look. My boy looking like, damn, I got a long case to fight. But yeah, we're going to find out something pretty soon, but I do feel like, I say pretty soon. We're going to find out something very soon. I do feel like that, you know, the grandmother really called for a reason. It's something that really drove her to that. Now, yeah, true enough, just seeing it initially, but I feel like it's some stuff that's been happening over time, because I've heard certain things like this, reading this story and stuff like that, and reading comments and reading certain things about it. But overall, ultimately, you know, I think that for the grandmother to do, it's because it can go either way. That's why I'm so torn, because you can just see it initially and just call, but at the same time, I feel like some people try to hold certain things down. You know how families be; they try to hold certain things down, but once it gets like out of line to a point where you shouldn't be getting to, then they start calling and trying to make certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, get that shit taken care of before it get out of hand. Let's get back into it. Talking about due process.
Now, in the last hour and a half, we also got a copy of the probable cause affidavit that mentions that DCS is investigating other potential claims of abuse within the family. Meanwhile, defense attorneys for the Muir family would not go into specifics of this case. We also know that they'll be back in court on July 16th at 9 a.m. That's for another hearing where they'll discuss the couple's bond and a no-contact order. For now, in Cass County, Michael Van Scoik, Fox 59 News.
All right, Michael, thank you. And as we told you earlier, 14-year-old Bryson Muir was found safe during the police raid this morning.
And Fox 59's Eric Graves was the only reporter on that scene during that raid at the Muir's Logansport compound. He brings us more now from the Cass County Jail.
For the time being, Daniel and Kristen Muir will remain here in the Cass County Jail. They were brought here this morning after police raided their property in Logansport. We were the only station there to capture police as they conducted that search. This is video we shot exclusively Wednesday morning, showing state police covering one entrance to this remote, large Logansport property, marked with signs saying, "Welcome to Straightway Indiana Goshen," a religious group headquartered in Tennessee. Law enforcement had rifles at the ready as an armored IMPD SWAT vehicle sat inside the fence. Multiple SWAT teams, canines, and a bomb squad began a raid of the homestead-like property with multiple homes this morning at 6 o'clock. Just minutes into the operation, law enforcement found Bryson Muir, a teen missing since June 16th, safe.
And ultimately, after 3 weeks of, reaching out, he was found located. So definitely win in our books.
We saw this IMPD SWAT vehicle leaving the property through the gate that appeared to be damaged after their entrance. An officer inside the vehicle coming over the loudspeaker to thank the people inside the property for their cooperation. ISP Sergeant Stephen Glass says a lot of planning went into the raid executed before the sun came up, especially since they didn't know how the Muirs and others on the property would react.
There was some question whether or not they would be cooperative or not. However, it went smoothly for the most part.
The Muirs property is just off U.S. Highway 24 in Logansport. Bryson's parents, Daniel and Kristen Muir, left in handcuffs. They're pictured here in their mugshots, taken early this morning at the Cass County Jail. Former Colts player Daniel Muir is charged with obstruction of justice and domestic battery. State police said his second charge is from injuries Bryson's grandmother reported to police on June 16th. Kristen Muir is charged with obstruction of justice. As we reported, the Muir parents have had little communication with state police about their son, even backing out of a meeting last Friday, just before a silver alert was issued for the teen. The pair appeared in court today. We talked to Cass County Prosecutor Noah Schaefer after the arrest.
Level 6 felonies carry a potential penalty of up to 2.5 years in jail and fines as well.
As for what's next, the Muir parents were not granted bond on site of a flight risk. Bryson is now in DCS custody, but there could be more children DCS is looking into.
I do know that DCS has an open case that involves a number of juveniles.
Neighbors we talked to around the Muir's property did not want to go on camera this morning. One neighbor telling us she heard the helicopters overhead early on this morning, and when she turned on the news, she was not surprised to see what was happening. Another neighbor telling us through his doorbell that he wanted nothing to do with his neighbors. Reporting in Logansport, I'm Eric Graves.
All right, Eric, thank you. Now, property records show that the compound police raided this morning is owned by a group called the Servant Leaders Foundation. But the actual nature of that organization remains a mystery. Now, Max has been looking into this all day, and Max, it appears there is some connection between the foundation and
listen to him.
Colts. Yeah, that's right, Nick. Take a look at this property. It's huge. 120 plus acres made up of several parcels that were all purchased back in 2020 by either Daniel Muir, Bryson's father, or former Colts defensive end Robert Mathis. They spent close to $2 million on the property, and then in November of last year, each of those parcels was transferred over to what's called the Servant Leaders Foundation. Now, we couldn't find any registered business or nonprofit with that name. The foundation has some kind of connection with the Straight Way Ministries, which is a Tennessee-based religious group. According to its website, they believe in a life separated from mainstream society, and they advocate for a return to biblical law. There have been some accusations that the group is a cult. Now, it's led by Pastor Charles Dowell, who spoke out on the raid today and threatened to get revenge. Listen.
The blowback from a false allegation probably ain't going to be too good. Especially when you have the backing of the ministry behind you. Because see, right now, all this seems to be at the forefront, and everybody seems to be pointing fingers and laughing and jeering and all that stuff. But you better believe the Straight Way is not going to be taking any of this lying down. We coming. You better believe we coming.
We'll see what he means by that. Dowell said the state police may not have a molehill with his investigation, but he gave no explanation as to why the Muirs didn't initially cooperate with the authorities. State police says the focus of its investigation was on Bryson and not the religious group. As for the Servant Leaders Foundation, which owns the Logansport property, we were able to track it back to a business in Kokomo. We're going to have that part of the story coming up. Bye.
Yeah, that's the end of that story, man. Like I said before, it's a crazy and unfortunate situation that the child is going through with what they're going through. I said child. Well, the children are going through what they're going through. Overall, ultimately, I feel like that they need to be charged to the fullest extent if this is true all the way 100%. Even if it is slightly true. He put his hands on that boy like that ain't what's up at all in my personal opinion. You can say what you want to say. You can let people beat you and be okay with it and all the other type of stuff. But if a child is around, or those children are around an environment like this, that ain't what's up at all in my personal opinion. The bond should continue being denied, and I feel like that they should be charged to the maximum extent in my personal opinion. I'm going to continue saying that because I definitely feel that way. But overall, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this situation. If you made it to the end of this video, I definitely do appreciate y'all. And I'm going to holler at y'all later on another video. All right.